So we're coming to the last part of the talk, and I want to try to inspire some of you who have come, because probably you're reflecting right now on some patterns that in your life that you'd like to change, and also at the very same time you're thinking to yourself, oh geez, it's going to be so hard. And so there's already some resistance there already. Do you notice that? I want to tell you something. That resistance, that does not say anything about you personally. Nothing. Every single one of us has resistance to change. No change is effortless. Nobody wants to do it, okay? And I can prove it to you. You guys know Joseph Campbell? Yeah. Okay, so a few of you have heard of Joseph Campbell. He was a mythologist, and he studied all the world's cultures, stories, ancient to modern. And what he discovered was human beings from the past up until now, all the same. Human beings, when they walk through life and they overcome their tragedies, that arc of tragedy to triumph, he detailed that, and it takes the form of a pattern that is similar throughout time. And he called that pattern the hero's quest. And it arises in 6 steps. And let me explain the hero's quest to you. Okay, so the first step is called the call, all right? And the call can arise in your life like a cataclysm, like mine did. Boom, spiritual emergency. It's a wake-up. But the call can also arise like drip, 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 like Chinese water torture. Like you know, and you've known for years that you need to make this change, and yet you don't feel like it. That's the resistance I'm talking about, okay? It's baked into the cake. And that's the second step of the hero's quest. It's called refusal. We're all stuck in refusal. Okay, so it doesn't say anything about you personally. It says something about all of us collectively. Okay, so you know why refusal is the second step? Probably because intuitively we have a sense of what's coming up in step 3, which is called road of trials. You're like, who wants that? Nobody wants that. Take this cup, please. Road of trials, no thank you. Listen, you guys, let me tell you something, okay? If the call has arisen in your life, you cannot stuff that genie back in the bottle. No way. It's just going to get louder. And then, if you stay stuck in refusal, it's already the road of trials. You might as well go. Okay, and so then you do go, and you start putting some effort into some new practices. You learn how to be skillfully aware. And the next thing you know, you do start to feel better. You're coping better. You're dealing with your urges and your pain and your upsets. All of that is happening. And so now, the healing that begins to take hold in your body, it's not like, oh, please, I want to be healed. It's not like that at all. It's more like spiritual confidence. I'm doing this. And that gives you what's called verified faith to keep going. You keep going. And then, because this is how networks work, networks make patterns. They always make patterns. And so the next pattern that arises is what Joseph Campbell calls number 5. That's the 5th step. The 5th step is called coming home. And what do you come home to? You come home to this new awakened you, this enlightened you, your authentic self, who you always could have been if you watched your actions, if you became super aware and mindful, skillful with the way you order your actions, okay? And that's what happened with me. I began, okay, but I'm not enlightened. I'll first tell you that right now. But I began, and I'm still working on this, I began practicing, and it's been 11 years where I'm making subtle course corrections, watching very carefully, and a new pattern has arisen. All of those old things that I talked about, all of those illnesses, they're all gone. No more pills. A new pattern does arise. It does. And I call this new pattern Happy Boy. And I'm so glad it's here. And from this vantage point, from the vantage point of Happy Boy, I look back at those past 11 years and my business blowing up, and that was, thank God that happened to me. That was a huge gift. The appraisal changes. It's not an injustice anymore. It's a gift. And so I don't get the anger and the hate that goes with injustice. I get the gratitude that goes with the gift. And that emotion arises naturally. And you know what comes with it? Forgiveness. I tried to jump through that psychological hoop. Oh, please forgive them. I couldn't do that until I changed. I had to change myself. And then the forgiveness comes naturally. Thank you, guys. I love you. That's how the love fills your heart. Okay, so now let's talk about step 6. This new pattern, happy boy, happy girl, it's barely got its legs. It can easily go back the other way. It's imprinted. Those imprints are still stuck to you. You got to work with them. And so the next step, this last final step, is called service. And what service is all about is, yes, you've healed yourself, but now you've got to give it away. That's how you keep your healing alive. And so in your family or at work or in your community, in some way, shape, or form, you have to bring your healing into the world. That's how you keep yourself better, and it's how the world changes, one person at a time.